Hello everyone. With the COVID-19 crisis, a lot of teaching has moved online. And while the good part of it is that students do not need to leave their homes in order to get access to education, and teachers are also able to do the same from their homes in a safer environment. I think everything has its pros and cons, and online teaching has some disadvantages or some cons which we have to deal with. Many people would say that there's a lot of distraction. You don't know whether students are really paying attention, how focused they are, how can we engage with them. But I think a big problem which could or probably may have also by now raised its ugly head is one of cyberbullying in the classroom. And I'm going to talk about that today. This is Dr. Mariam Narona, and I thought that I would like to address this from a teacher's perspective, that how should teachers deal with cyberbullying in the classroom. Now, something that I like to clarify here before I begin my presentation is I'm not going to touch upon how students may indulge in cyberbullying against other students. I'm only going to focus on how a teacher should deal with it if he or she encounters it during online teaching sessions. So I just thought I should be clear about that aspect, that I'm going to talk about a teacher's perspective and how a teacher should deal with it. So let me just talk about why cyberbullying happens in a classroom and why a teacher could be a target of such treatment. So basically, the anonymity of the digital world, all of us know that it is possible for people to have a certain digital persona. Means they would not even be probably using their own names, and because of that digital persona they are able to hide behind that and may behave in a very bad way. And also that digital persona frees them from the obligation of owning their actions and their behavior. So it may happen because students have that power of anonymity, which they may misuse. Then the tendency of social narcissism, that is, people may be indulging in narcissist behavior and have no regrets for it. And one of the reasons is that digital persona. You can hide behind it and you can be cruel, you can be mean, you can be nasty, and you just think that you can get away with it. And the third aspect which I want to talk about is that you are not careful enough. When I say you are not careful enough, I'm talking about teachers here. That you are not aware or you're not careful enough to be able to identify or even conceive of the fact that this could happen with you. So these are the reasons why a teacher could be the target of cyberbullying in a classroom. Now, the first important point which I'd like to make is please learn to recognize cyberbullying if at all it is happening with you. I've put up some common instances of what cyberbullying really is. Now, all of this may not happen in a classroom with a teacher, but I think number one and number three, those may happen. That is, if a student, while you're teaching, a student is posting some humiliating or embarrassing content, not even about you. It could be a meme, it could be some obscene video or some music or some dance or something like that, which is it got nothing to do with what is being taught, and it is just interrupting your class, annotating the screen when you are repeatedly saying don't do it. That is also, that amounts to cyberbullying. Posting vulgar messages or typing abusive language in a chat box or something like that, then that is cyberbullying, which could happen in a classroom. And I would say many a times teachers shy away from recognizing or accepting cyberbullying which is happening in their class, because they could be feeling ashamed that this is happening with them and they don't want to accept it. Or they could be, the other extreme is that they could make excuses for students and say, oh, students are immature and they're mischievous, and they are just playing some mischief. But there is you need to recognize that cyberbullying is an offense, and if somebody is indulging in that during your class, please firstly do not take it personally, and recognize that it reflects on that person, the opposite person, the student who is dishing it out, and that you have to recognize it and not tolerate it. That is one of the first few things, that you need to recognize what exactly cyberbullying is and do not dismiss it as something trivial or minor. Take it seriously. Having said that, you need to recognize and accept the fact that cyberbullying could be playing out in your classroom, and that you need not tolerate it, or you should not tolerate it. So let's just talk a little bit about what you can do to prevent it. So obviously you can prevent it. That is something which you need to realize. It is within your power by being careful. Now, on certain platforms, it is possible. I will not name a platform or endorse any particular platform, or say any particular platform has certain deficiencies or discrepancies, that you should be selecting the right platform, a platform where you as a host of that session have more control. That is, you have control over who you admit into your class. You have the power to mute somebody, to turn off their video. You have the power to disable a chat box. You have the power to remove somebody who misbehaves. So you choose an appropriate platform for online teaching where you can prevent these things. Now, there are two stages at which I feel you can prevent cyberbullying, or you can really draw a line somewhere and indicate that this will not be tolerated. And those two stages are, first when you begin the session, and second obviously during the session. Now, when you begin the session, firstly, please do not allow students to use any nicknames or device names to enter your meeting. Make sure that they have some they are using their name, and that you have a roll call or the list of students against which you can tally those names. So do not allow nicknames or device names, because that just gives somebody an opportunity to hide behind what I mentioned, a digital persona. It gives them the power of anonymity. So do not allow that. Second thing is, inform your attendees that you are recording your session, and actually record it. What happens when you record it? You're creating reference material for the future. You're creating record of your session, and that you will also have evidence of anybody's misbehavior when you are recording it, and they also will then refrain from trying to disrupt your session. So inform them that you are recording the session. Outline your do's and don'ts, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate, for what the chat box can be used, and whether, if you want people to turn off their videos, if you're putting everybody on mute, things like that, when they can unmute, or when you will unmute them in question answer session, whatever. So please outline those do's and don'ts so that the rules are clear. This is important because it will help you to maintain control and also communicate some discipline to your attendees. That is when you begin the session. Now during the session, what you can do to prevent people from acting funny or indulging in any sort of bullying is you mute them, because if you are teaching and it's not an interactive session, you don't need them to be on unmute, so you can mute them. You enable or disable the chat box as per how you feel the need to. When you want to invite questions or something like that, you disable the chat box option you can use. You may suspend the session in extreme situation. Even if one person is disrupting, that is enough to disturb everybody, and you can suspend the session. Or you may remove or block the disturbing elements from your session. This of course depends on the platform which you are using. And I would suggest that I have already suggested recording the session so that you can keep evidence. So please keep the evidence of the attendance and whatever played out in the session with you safely. Do not underestimate the importance of reaching out for help. Now every city has a cyber crime cell, and you can always reach out. You may also indicate this at the beginning of the session that we will take strict action against anyone who indulges in cyberbullying. So do not hesitate to reach out for help. Of course, this depends on you and your interpretation of how serious the misbehavior of somebody online is. So do not hesitate to reach out for help. It is within your reach. Do not consider that that is something you possibly should not do or something like that, because if somebody is being really nasty and does not display even minimum respect towards you as a human being, and does not respect the time of other attendees, then of course you should reach out for help and action. And if you go to the experts, those people would be able to help you out. So I'd like to say in conclusion that as a teacher, you're steering the session, but students who indulge in misbehavior or cyberbullying are like errant drivers who can come crashing into you. You are going along your path on the road, and these people come and create disruption for you. So please do not firstly feel ashamed. I've mentioned this earlier. Do not feel ashamed about it. Do not take it personally, and please equip and empower yourself to expect that this may happen, and what is the action that you can take if it happens, and also how you can prevent it. So I hope this helps all teachers who are going to be conducting online teaching to be prepared for this harsh reality of the digital space. Thank you.